We begin with breaking news out of Malaysia, where the Prime Minister Mahathir Mohammed has offered his resignation to the king, and his political party has quit the ruling alliance. Now, this decision shocked Malaysia, and it comes in the midst of plans by Mahathir's supporters to team up with opposition parties to thwart the transition of power to his named successor, Anwar Ibrahim. Let's go live to Florence LOOI in Kuala Lumpur. So, Florence, what have you been able to learn as this news has come out?
Well, we learnt that Mahathir Mohammed submitted his letter of resignation to the King of Malaysia at about 1 p.m. local time this afternoon. Now, it's not yet known whether the King has accepted the resignation, but according to constitutional experts, because the King's role is largely a ceremonial role, he will have to. Then what happens next is also a little bit unclear. Now, the King has to appoint someone who commands the majority or confidence of Parliament, so then it becomes a numbers game. But we also have the information now that Mahathir's party has left the ruling coalition. And the rumours are that this party is going to team up with other parties to form another coalition. So they could still command the majority in Parliament, and they could still very much be in power. Now, so that's the state of politics in Malaysia at the moment. But the background information of this as well is that, you know, this is something that political watchers in Malaysia have been speculating about, that there is a plan to prevent Anwar Ibrahim from becoming the next Prime Minister. Now, there was an agreement between Mahathir's party and the other parties in the then ruling coalition that there would be a handover of power within 2 years of the last general election, that Mahathir would hand over power to Anwar Ibrahim. Now, that's supposed to happen sometime in the next few months, but Mahathir has delayed that, saying that he's not going to be ready to hand over power until after an important Asia-Pacific meeting in November in Kuala Lumpur. And now we have this. Now, the speculation that he is doing this so that Anwar doesn't become the next Prime Minister, because if he has enough numbers to form a ruling coalition, to be part of the ruling coalition, then Anwar's party and Anwar's supporters won't have a chance to form the next government. Now, but who are Mahathir's coalition partners? Well, they're rumoured to be the former ruling party, UMNO. Now, this is the party that was defeated in the last general election. Its then leader, Najib Razak, was accused of siphoning billions of dollars from a state investment fund and is currently on trial for corruption. Now, this party could be coming back into power, but that is all just speculation. However, lending support to this speculation is the fact that members of this party, as well as members of Mahathir's party, held a meeting just yesterday, on Sunday, held a meeting, and there were talks that there were rumours that the meeting is to, well, really to form the next, to form a coalition. So they have enough numbers to make sure they have enough numbers to be the majority in Parliament. Rochelle.
All right. Florence LOOI gathering more on this breaking news that the Prime Minister of Malaysia has submitted his resignation. We'll gather more. Thank you, Florence. So, Bridget, your reaction to this announcement?
Well, it's considerably a lot of drama in Malaysia today, and the last weekend as well. We've seen now the resignation of Mahathir, but he's supposed to meet the king tonight, so there's a chance he might come back.
So what do you think is at play here? Why is this happening?
Well, I think that there was too much tension inside the existing coalition that had governed Malaysia since May 2018. There was challenges over reform, but particularly over setting a transition date for Anwar Ibrahim. And the coalition basically collapsed. And so we now see a situation where things have been very fluid in the last 2 days, particularly last night and today. And we're seeing either a new coalition forming, a new election.
What are the real issues between Anwar Ibrahim and Mahathir Mohammed?
Principle, there are actually two. One has to do with issues and perceptions of race relations, and the other has to do with issues of patronage. I think these things are very much at the core. There have been differences over reform as well, so we could add that to the mix. But generally, a lot of these issues have been percolating. But a lot has to do also with personality. These two men have a history, a long history. Mahathir put Anwar Ibrahim in jail, and and they came together. And now I think we're seeing a situation where Tun Mahathir in Malaysia seems unwilling to let Anwar take power again,
so
at least so far.
Who is going to benefit from this, or is it too soon to tell right now?
Well, nobody's benefiting right now. I think this political and economic insecurity is really hurting the country because people are all transfixed watching this. So I think until it unfolds, we're not going to be able to make a clear assessment of how Malaysia is going to move forward.
All right,
it remains highly fluid.
Okay, and we will be calling on you again. Bridget Welsh, the author of Regime Resilience in Malaysia. Thank you very much.